Bum ba dum bum. Bum ba dum bum. Hello.
Well, hello indeed.
Wow, it's early, isn't it?
I know.
Is it too early to clap?
No, it's just early enough. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
There's nothing quite like a countdown. I mean, it just even just hearing your voice slightly distant, because I, take the thing out of the phone thing, that I go, oh, a countdown. Something's about to happen. What do you think's going to happen?
We're going to talk nonsense for a short period of time, and then I will make that nonsense shorter, and then we will send it to the sky.
Ah, that's called podcasting.
A form of prayer. Oh, there we go, yes. Podcasting. Not a
Talking
form
nonsense. But I think you don't think we should go long form, like, and not edit. Like, speak for 2 hours and just let...
Oh my God, could you imagine?
And we could call it the midlifing experience.
No, thank you. I can't afford that amount of time today. I'm afraid I've got many jobs to do, important jobs.
Yeah, I guess it involves chicken and pizza.
It's a wine festival.
You say important jobs.
It's day drinking. It's day drinking followed by a Chinese banquet.
Day drinking? I think that's a Beatles song.
If it isn't, it should be. Let's go back in time and get them to do it.
Oh, John. Yeah, hang on, there's only one left.
Is there any of them left? Paul McCartney's still alive.
Yeah, but the others... No, what about the drummer, Ringo? Is he
Ringo's still alive.
Ah,
yeah.
So half of them. That's a quorum. Quora?
Did they have to vote?
Haven't you watched that 9-hour-long Peter Jackson documentary about the Beatles?
You'll be surprised to find out that I haven't.
I am surprised.
Yeah, it's a shock, because everybody knows I'm such a big Beatles fan.
Basically, spoiler, they vote.
What did they vote on?
I don't know. I didn't watch the end. I didn't get to the ending. I did watch a trailer for a film called Sinners yesterday.
Ooh, doesn't that look good? You wouldn't be able to watch it. It's too scary, I know.
The trailer was terrifying. Trailer was terrifying. And it did remind me of something I used to do at Scary Films, at the cinema. I would just put my fingers in my ears and realize that so much of the, this is a very obvious thing to say, but was about the way I was being manipulated by sound, and it just took the edge off completely.
Have you ever watched Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds?
Without the sound or with sound?
No, well, it's famous for not having a soundtrack.
Oh, yes.
I mean, when I say that,
it's been a long time
it's famous
since I
for not
watched
having
it.
What I meant to say is it's famous for not having a musical score. It does have a soundtrack, obviously.
Because they're kind of scary. The sounds those birds make is kind of scary.
Well, they're also composed as well. So I think they use synthesizers to create a kind of an unease, but they weren't using music. It's a really good film. I watched it again recently. I watch it every now and then because it's just lovely.
I should. It has been. I would have been a teenager when I saw it, when I watched it.
Yeah.
Scary films. So, what are we going to talk about?
Well, I have come with so many things to talk about, Simon.
You don't know where to start.
I haven't. My brain is completely puddled.
So this is becoming my responsibility.
I mean, that's not fair. I have brought many things to the table. I bring questions. I mean, if you want, I could start by saying I spent all day yesterday constructing furniture, emptying out cupboards, doing effectively a spring clean, or Swedish death cleaning if you prefer.
Did you get rid of things?
Oh, we got rid of so many things.
And this isn't just in one of the houses.
Things.
It wasn't like you weren't flitting between both, getting rid of things in both houses.
No, we were just getting rid of things in our Portuguese house.
You're not thinking of becoming minimalists, are you?
No. But the current... Now, you need to know this. I do prepare and I do read.
There.
No, don't worry about it. I'm too appalled to sit with it for long. But you, as you are now a homeowner and soon to be decorating, you will need to settle upon your style. And one of the things that we are being made aware of in various style magazines is the sliding away from minimalism towards something called curated maximalism.
Oh. I'm just stepping away from the microphone.
I am definitely a maximalist, and I think I'm trying to become a curated maximalist, which is what yesterday was about.
And what does that? I don't even know if I want to ask the question. I love the way you started that. Was you will, because you are this, you will need to.
Yeah, you'll need to. Otherwise, people will come into your home and they will judge you. They will go, "This home has not been put together."
People will come into my home and judge me anyway.
They will say, "This home has not been curated. Why is that fabric next to that tile?" They will say all sorts of things. I know this because I read things. Apparently,
you're gonna be very welcome to come round. That's for sure.
Well,
they just leave you out on the street.
Oh, you know what?
You'll probably kind of complain about the squeakiness of the front gate.
No, I would never. You've been to both of my houses. You know, neither of them are perfect. Although one at least is dry now. Actually, both are dry, just to be clear, but one that wasn't is. And so beautifully plastered and painted. I still run my hands along the wall. Oh, but yeah, we were. We were getting rid of.
Then I was just leaving you to your moment.
I was looking at the walls and going, "Oh, they're so crisp."
It was on ecstasy, feeling the walls, just rubbing against the walls. 2 hours later, still rubbing.
I'm not rubbing the walls anymore. We got rid of some stuff. We left it by the bins. In fact, there was so much it took us 4 journeys to take things from the flat to the bins. And the bins are maybe a 3-minute walk away. So you've got to go, maybe not even that long. But you've got to go, we live on the top floor, up to the top floor, all the way down to the bins, back, up, down, and so on. And on the 3rd trip, there were already 2 people pouring through the stuff that we left by the bins and going, "Are you sure you're throwing this away?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're sure we're throwing that away." It's like, "But these cushions are really nice." I said, "Yeah, that's silk." She said, "I'm having these. I'm taking them now. Do you have a bag for me to put them in?" I went, "Yeah, I do." I felt like I was offering some kind of service, but I'd been a bit remiss that I hadn't got carrier bags for people.
Does the place look different? You know, like my boss at work has got a lot of things. We're moving building soon, and so.
Okay.
My boss has a lot of stuff.
I just have to say, work moving is one of the worst things, because I think when you have I'm really glad I don't have an office. I think when you have an office, what you do is all the shit that you don't want at home, you put in your office.
Well, I mean, my boss is, in her own words, a hoarder.
Uh-huh.
And every time she says this, so it's not just once, I say, "Oh, really? I hadn't noticed." And but she's been there a long time, so you can imagine just how much stuff she's collected. And she got started, because it's happening more or less next month. Well, not even more or less. That's going to start towards the end of this month and finish throughout June. And she got started, and my friend and my colleague and I, Fred Frolig, we were looking and we were going, "Nah, I can see that she's got rid of a ton of stuff, but I can see no difference, no palpable difference." And was there a palpable difference after you did your 4 trips there and back to look after the local furniture scavengers.
I mean, this is the thing. Was there a palpable difference? No. There wasn't. But there was a kind of a psychic difference.
You're using words. I don't know what they mean.
Things felt lighter somehow. Things felt chosen.
Curated even.
Almost as if I had curated my maximalism.
It does sound like Gladiator 3. Curatus Maximus. I don't know. What's going to happen is that Lil and I are going to have two apartments, one of which I rent and the other which we own, where they're basically both kind of basically empty. It's even happening already. But I don't know about that whole curated thing. I mean, there's a real 60s vibe in the apartment in Italy, and we're certainly looking for, I forget what you call that kind of, those really popular in the 50s and 60s, those kinds of tables that were, what's the material they're made of? It's kind of a form of plastic.
Melamine, formica.
Formica.
Okay.
So a formica table, I think formica's right, would be pretty amazing, especially if it were the original chairs. That would look amazing. So yes, I think that's curated. Not sure it's maximalist, but it's definitely thinking about the way things might look. No question. Matters to us.
See, there we go. These are important things to discuss.
Yeah.
But probably not what you had on the card, because I could just talk about this all day.
I don't...
Talk about my new sofa.
I didn't know what... Listeners, you'll know that... You might know, you won't know, but you'll now know that Lee texted me this information about his sofa yesterday. Yesterday? Day before?
Yesterday, I was waiting for it to be delivered.
I got the impression that you were, I'm going to say, excited about it.
Oh, very excited about it. I am... If I could spend my life buying sofas for people and fitting the right sofa to the right bottom, I would be so deliriously happy.
Really? What is it about sofas?
There is something... I'm so ashamed of myself.
Wait, you're ashamed of yourself for liking sofas? Are you basically saying you're ashamed of yourself because you are, what's that word? Just like paper thin.
Yeah, it's transparent. Shallow. I think I am ashamed of myself because somebody like you who is so ecologically light, somebody who is not really encumbered by stuff, is, one might almost say, aesthetic in their approach to the world.
Yep.
I fear that waxing rhapsodic about a collection of wood and stuffing and fabric might seem shallow and empty. But the reason I like a sofa is obviously the sine qua non of comfort is the bed. Nobody is ever going to confuse me and say, Lee David Miller, you can't find a better thing than a floor. No. Bed. Lovely bed with cushions and pillows and a quilt and some blankets. I could live in a nest of bed all day long. I'm there, Jeff's there, Bob's there, we're reading books, we're getting up, we're having toast, we're coming back to bed with toast. I would run the world from a bed.
I think Donald Trump does lead the world from his bed. I think that's pretty much how he rolls, tweeting and etc.
Yeah, but his is you know that his is a fetid, filthy pool of just nastiness. That it's not a good
golden bed. Fetid, etc. I think
it's
gold. I think there's gold there.
Are you going with so when you say gold, are you talking about the fittings, or are you talking about the fact that people piss on him for fun?
Well, I was actually thinking about the fittings, but you can. I don't want to be libel.
Oh, I thought you didn't want to yuck somebody's yum.
He's listening.
I think people have said worse than the fact that I think there's evidence that he was pissed on by sex workers from Russia. Is that true? Allegedly. Allegedly. I'm safe. Yeah. I'm safe. Anyway, obviously the bed. Top notch. But what I like about the sofa is the public-facing comfort space.
Ah.
It's where you can invite your non-intimates to share comfort with you. And I think the kind of sofa that people have says a lot about where comfort sits in their life.
I just feel like you're a wind-up toy, and I wound you up at the beginning of this conversation, and just whispered the word sofa into your ear, and away you go. Juk, 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 juk.
I mean, I could start to talk about the designer Antonio Citterio, who I think has made some beautiful
pieces.
I'm going with forms. They weren't even pieces because it's before they even become pieces. It's just the shapes that he imagines. I love Citterio's work, but I mean,
do you think this is well? Anyway, I need to come back to the bed thing because there is something about that interests me that I would like to talk about. I thought the public-facing thing was. I think that's quite. How do you describe it? A public-facing comfort zone.
Yeah, It's the. Well, I can't remember quite how I phrased it, but it's public-facing comfort. It's the sharing. It's the public-facing sharing of comfort. That's the most important thing. It's the sharing.
One thing that's weird is also they've become a little bit focused on a television, haven't they? So that the way in which
horrid.
the way in which they effectively cluster around and point at increasingly large screens.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it in the sense of we're going to watch this thing a lot. We want to be comfortable watching this thing a lot. I mean, it makes pretty good sense. But I've never lived in a place big enough where I'd have a room that could be effectively designed to watch TV. I wanted to come back to the bed.
Yes, please do. Let's climb in.
Because and I like the way you described it in terms of the way, a quilt and some blankets and pillows and Jeffrey and books and Bob and etc. And the thing is that I don't think you know this, but for the last nearly 2 years, that if I lie in bed for any length of time, getting out, I'm in a lot of pain.
No, I didn't know that.
So getting out of bed in the morning is incredibly painful.
Sweetheart, whereabouts? Where's the pain live?
Well, spine.
Oh, pop it.
And so it's a curious thing because bed has ceased to be, and you know how much I like to nap, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Superpower, and it's ceased to be a kind of refuge like that because I know that when I have to get out of it, I'm going to have to deal with hours of chronic pain. And it's a curious thing because it's one of those things that, like a lot of bodily pain, it has come on slowly. So at no point did I think, I've done something. It was more that I got to a point where I went, it's a bit sore, it's a bit sore. And then you're going, wow, I can hardly move. Like the idea of sitting down to put on my socks just leaves me aggrieved, right? As a 56-year-old man, I do not like the idea that I can't just lift up one foot, put my sock on, lift up. I was actually doing that then. Pick up the other foot, put the sock on, etc. But no way that kind of standing one foot, twisting towards one, not a chance. I mean, excruciating. And I'm only saying this because, well, firstly, the relationship to bed. It's very clear if I'm reading or, heaven forbid, like watching a film in bed. There's something about that kind of position, but over the course of an entire night, yeah. And then I think maybe about 4 months ago, I went, this is crazy. I feel decrepit, like I can hardly do anything, and it takes about 2 or 3 hours it'll start to ease off. And so I started taking a lot more care. Not that I wasn't, but I doing stuff before I go to bed, all sorts of things, just trying different things to get better. And it's just so interesting that it's just slowly in the last 3 to 4 weeks, it's almost like it's back to normal.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
But so this is really a long way of saying, oh my God, chronic pain, Lee Miller. And I think especially spinal pain, but when it's gone, I might have had a long, since I was 18. So what is that? It's nearly 40 years of back stuff.
Yeah.
But the sense of being like, it feels like years have been stripped off me as a consequence of it, not. And so there's something also, just the moral of the story, God, it's nice to be able to go back to bed and not kind of be, I'll say, anxious about what it's going to be like to wake up and get out of it.
Yeah. Oh, sweet man.
No, thank you. But I was just thinking about chronic pain, really, and just how insidious it is, and fatiguing. And
I am so saddened that we've not talked about your pain.
Well, it's one of those things that it really is something you get used to, and which is, that's the least surprising thing I could possibly say. But yeah, it's, but it actually, I was noticing it differently in Sardinia, and I thought maybe it's because I'm sleeping on a very different bed. I tried different bed stuff and thinking, but no, I think it's actually, I was walking more. I think walking, if anything, seems to be so good. That little bit of rotation around the longitudinal axis just seems to be incredibly, and then also making sure I do quite a bit of mobility stuff before I go to bed. But yeah, so just a little bit of attention over a long period of time, and then, wow, the difference though. Oh my God. And that, like I say, I felt like I was an old man. And it was pretty hard to kind of feel like I could do anything physically demanding, so yeah, it's just I feel like a new me. I feel like a new me, Lee Miller.
I'm so glad Simon Kennedy Ellis feels like a new him. Well, you know what we've done? We've witted away without any... God forbid your sister has an opinion about this. Because it's like, topic normal. What we're talking about today, whatever we want, of no real consequence.
Well,
Lee's emptied that of the house.
I had actually written down chronic pain on my list of things to talk about. So I squeezed it in.
Oh.
You talked about beds, and then there it was.
Beds and sofas. Don't forget sofas. Cleaning, emptying the house, feeling a sense of joy and relief. And then at the end of a day of organising things, going and having pizza and wine.
Oh, what a nice thing to do. And now I'm just thinking about how curated the apartment in Citterio will have to be before you're ever invited around.
I mean, you've got years and years and years to curate it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
That word just gives me the heebie-jeebies, eh? Of all the different things that I hear around academia, and there's a lot of them that slightly annoy me, but curated? Oh. What do you mean? Oh, you mean you choose stuff? We're talking about taste again. Here we are.
I'm just covering my face because...
You got to put those magazines down, Lee Miller.
No, I don't. I'm really happy to be maximising the... it's actually Elle Decoration very strongly in my house.
It's what?
Elle Decoration. Oh, I've had a long-term subscription to Elle Decoration.
Elle Decoration. As in E-L-L-E.
Yeah,
not Spanish.
No, Elle Decoration. I read regularly. So there are 2 magazines that still continue to come into our house. We are supporting the trade of print. Vogue and Elle Decoration.
You You crack me up, and I did not know this about you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's on the bombshell that we will leave. Goodbye.
Bye.